Hello everyone and welcome back to my Analyzing Disney Princess Dresses series here on my channel. The focus of today's analysis will be Princess Ariel, and I'll be talking about the pink dress she wears in the film, the green one that Disney decided to change it to, and why the change was made. I will be analyzing both dresses based on historical accuracy. I'm going to start by looking at the dress from a style standpoint and then going on to analyze it historically. Personally, I don't dislike the dress as much as other people here on YouTube. While I don't think that we needed another princess dressed in pink, I do understand why this choice was made. The color pink shows how even though Ariel is a teenager in the mermaid world, her inability to talk and lack of understanding how the human world works makes pink a stereotypical but smart choice for making her seem like a very young little girl just trying to find her place in her new world. They also put her in a pink nightgown in this scene. You may not have noticed this while watching the movie, but Ariel's dress is actually directly inspired by a bunch of different Disney princess dresses from the Disney princesses who came before her. The top part of her sleeve was inspired by Snow White, the neckline being off the shoulder and the fitted lower portion of the sleeve was taken from Aurora's design from Sleeping Beauty, and the large ballroom skirt and the overlaying fabric details on it were directly inspired from Cinderella's ball gown, which is probably why a bunch of people here on YouTube and just in general dislike this dress. It really isn't that original. So is this dress historically accurate? Just like the other videos in the series, I'm going to start by looking at the silhouette of the dress in order to get an idea of which time period it fits in with. So when I look at this dress, I can see that it fits in with the clothing of the 1830s. The silhouette of this gown follows fashion trends that emerged during the 1820s, but then gained popularity in the following decade. This style of dress has a fitted waist that falls just above the natural waistline. This dress also featured skirts that ended just above the ankle and large sleeves. When we look at fashion of this time, we can see that the sleeves of the dress are mainly historically accurate with a correct silhouette. It's just a slashing detail on them that does not fit in with the period. The style of the shape of sleeves that Ariel wears is called the 𝐵𝐸, which means that the sleeve is large and puffed up until the elbow, with then past the elbow down her forearm, it is fitted. This was a very popular style of sleeve during this time period, so is this dress historically accurate? Well, I couldn't exactly find when the film was supposed to take place, so I chose to find out when the original fairy tale was written in order to gauge an idea of when the movie was set. The original story, The Little Mermaid, was written by Hans Christian Andersen in the year 1836. In the year 1836, we could see a shift in women's fashion. The skirts became longer and the waistlines dropped. We could also see a change in the sleeves. The 𝐵𝐸 was starting to move as well, with the puffed part moving further down the arm, with it fitted for the rest of the way and having more fitted shoulders. The length and fullness of the skirt is rather accurate to the time period in which the film is supposed to take place, and the sleeve style of the dress is an actual style that was worn during the time. The only inaccurate parts are that overlaying fabric, which, as I mentioned earlier, was taken from Cinderella's dress, and the slashing detail of the sleeves, which was taken from Snow White's princess dress. That overlaying fabric portion was in fashion a century ago, and that the slashing detail was really popular in the 1550s and 60s in Germany and England. So with all of this considered, I do think that Disney did a pretty decent job of making a mainly historically accurate Disney princess gown. The 𝐵𝐸 in the sleeves have been slightly smaller and lower down the arm, but what they did go with was an actual sleeve from the time period, and Disney may have chosen to set the film before 1836. Either way, the gown fits in pretty well in the 1830s, with the off-the-shoulder neckline being an actual style as well. So I'm happy with it. I'm glad that they were able to make something historically accurate. Now, there was something else I wanted to talk about in this video, which is the change to a new dress design. Over time, Disney has changed the pink dress that they've marketed Ariel in from the pink one that we see in the movie to this green one that we never saw at all in the original film. In this segment of the video, I'm going to be analyzing this new dress on historical accuracy and talking about why I think that Disney made this change. In this new version of the dress, the skirt actually stayed mostly the same. The only difference was that it had a lot less structure. This actually makes the dress a lot less historically accurate, as throughout the 1830s, skirts were actually getting larger and more structured. So if the movie takes place in 1836, as we discussed earlier, skirts would have already been quite large at this time and very structured. The fashionable silhouette of the decade was achieved by layering many petticoats on top of each other in order to achieve the desired fullness. Eventually, towards the end of the decade, bustles were tied onto the waists in order to support the skirts at the back. The sleeves in this newer version of the dress are actually a bit more accurate, seeing as the 𝐥𝐞𝐭'𝐬 was starting to get smaller towards the end of the 1830s, seeing as it couldn't possibly get any larger, making the sleeves in this new version of the dress more accurate than the one in the pink version. My only problem is that in this version of the dress and in the illustrations that I've looked at, the sleeves are depicted as being a sheer material, which would not be the case in the 19th century, and therefore adds a layer of inaccuracy on top of these sleeves. So in changing the dress design, Disney basically changed their historically accurate skirt to a less accurate skirt and the somewhat inaccurate sleeves to somewhat accurate sleeves. So really nothing more was achieved in the name of historical accuracy. So why did Disney change the dress? Why is Ariel now shown in this green one instead of the pink one that we saw in the original movie? When looking into it, I couldn't find any definite facts or any statements from Disney as to why they made this change, but looking online a little bit, I could find some information as to why this shift may have been made. I saw lots of videos on YouTube complaining about how Ariel's princess dress did not have the wow factor that we associate with Disney princess movies, and in particular, the dresses. The dresses are supposed to be this big reveal wow moment, and Ariel's really just isn't it. The lack of extravagance on this gown makes sense in the context of the movie, seeing as she's just going to lunch, not a ball, but it's probably too much of a casual gown in order to fit in with Disney's princess marketing, and you know, we have to sell Halloween costumes. This new green version of the dress has a lot more of the awe and extravagance that we expect from the Disney princess dresses. This new one has a lot more details, jewelry, and sparkles that we would associate more with the magic of the Disney films. This new green version of the dress is now the one that Ariel wears in all of the official Disney merchandise and advertising. They make dolls with this new one instead of the old one. This is the one that she wears at the Disney theme parks. This is the one that is selling Halloween costumes. The pink dress is almost nowhere to be seen now. The last place we saw it was in Wreck-It Ralph. In conclusion, the dress was changed mainly for marketing purposes, and that's about it. There's really no other reason to the change. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more fashion analysis videos. As always, comment down below which Disney princess you would like me to do next. And yeah, I love you guys so much. Bye guys!